see is a land of wonder, is a land of mystery. Mystery Island, hoo-ha, Mystery Island, hoo. So much to discover, so much for us to see. God's truth never failing, all the way through history. Mystery Island, hoo-ha, Mystery Island, hoo. There's a place you gotta see, a land of discovery. It's Mystery Island, Mystery Island. Searching for the ancient truth, hand it down to me and you. Mystery Island, come on! Won't you come along with me? On a search to the island, for the clues hidden all around. Our God is a treasure, just waiting to be found. Mystery Island, hoo-ha, Mystery Island, hoo. Mystery Island, hoo-ha, Mystery Island. There's a place you gotta see, a land of discovery. It's Mystery Island, Mystery Island. Searching for the ancient truth, hand it down to me and you. Mystery Island, come on! Won't you come along with me?
Mystery Island, it's a place for you and me. Ready for discovery? The deeper you dig, the more you will find. Cause that's how it works, a Mystery Island. The path is narrow, so stay on track. But the treasure is yours if you follow the map. God is faithful, God is strong. I can sing of his love all the day long. God is powerful, holy and true. I'm ready for mystery, how about
There's
you?
a place you gotta see, a land of discovery. It's Mystery Island,
It's Mystery Island.
Mystery Island. Searching for the ancient truth, hand it down to me and you. Mystery Island,
It's Mystery Island.
Mystery Island.
It's a place for you and me.
There's a place you gotta see, a land of discovery. It's Mystery Island,
It's Mystery Island.
Mystery Island. Searching for the ancient truth.
It's a place of discovery. It's a place for you and me. Won't you come along with me?
Won't you come along with me? Mystery Island, hoo-ha, Mystery Island, hoo.
Welcome back to our final day of Mystery Island. I cannot believe it's been 5 weeks and this is our last week to be with you for VBS. That's just absolutely crazy to me. But I'm so excited to talk to you today about how trustworthy our God is. Oh, well. Looks like your swashbuckling days have found you some swag, Captain Crispy.
Aye, matey. I can't wait to see that loot. Let's get her open. Get it open. Hey, oh.
Oh, it's better than nothing, I guess.
I'm gonna go try and find me some buried treasure.
Buried treasure reminds me of another pirate named William Kidd, also known as Captain Kidd.
Did he find buried treasure?
He found lots of buried treasure, tons of buried treasure, and it's believed that he buried this treasure somewhere and nobody knows where it is. A lot of people have actually tried finding the treasure and they can't find it anywhere. It's believed to be buried somewhere between the Caribbean Sea and New York, so it's close. They did find one of his ships back in 2007, I think, back in the Caribbean, and they took one of the cannons from it, and it's actually in the Children's Museum in Indianapolis.
Well, ships and cannons are cool, but I'm looking for buried treasure. So back to the search for me. Good day, mateys.
Good day, Captain Crispy. It was so fun having you join us these past few weeks. Enjoy your Captain Crunch cereal loot as well. Guys, today we are going to learn that the only treasure we need is God. That is the only thing that we need. He is the greatest treasure and he is worthy of our praise. Let's get started.
There's a place you gotta see, a land of discovery, Mystery Island. Come on! Won't you come along with me? Mystery Island. Mystery Island. Who?
Okay, listen. Mr. Henson is headed this way, so I'm going to alert the detective. You stay here and keep him occupied. Any questions?
Nope, I've got it.
Okay, now whatever you do not let him out of your sight. Do you understand me?
Yes, ma'am, I'm gonna stick to him like glue.
Sorry, I'm going to miss this.
Ooh, boy, this is gonna be fun.
Hey, it's me. No, okay, they're on the final leg right now. I know, payday is just around the corner. Okay, oh yeah, I've got them all. I've got the hook, I've got the crown, I've got the heart, and pretty soon, maybe even Captain Scurvy Legs Gold. I know. Not bad for a couple days' work, don't you think? No, don't even worry about her. Yes, I know she's on me, but it's no clue. I mean, seriously, I've got nothing to fear. So, any news on your end? Hey, kid. Hey, I'm trying to, you mind going somewhere else? Hey, kid. Hey, turn it off. Do you mind? I'm trying to do a phone call here.
Mind? Oh, no, I don't mind.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey!
There, that looks better. Oh, sorry. I hope I didn't interrupt your phone call.
It's all right. Forget it. It's done now.
Oh. Can I get you anything to eat?
Yeah, nachos.
Okay, 1 bowl of nachos coming right up. And here you are.
Thank you.
And there's that. Okay. Lovely day we're having today, right?
I know.
Right?
Hey!
What's wrong? Oh,
Watch what you're doing!
I'm sorry. I looked away for 1 second and look what happened.
Forget it. It's just water.
So, you still want your nachos?
Yeah, I guess.
Good. There's not much I can mess up with that one.
Oh. What is that?
Oh, there you are, little...
There's a lizard in my nachos!
There you are, little buddy. I was looking for you.
Forget it. I'm out of here. I've had enough.
No, you're not.
What are you talking about?
Look behind you.
What's this about?
Gina Patel, you are under arrest for the stealing of Captain Oak's ook.
What are you talking about? My name is Tobias Henson, and I work for a law firm.
Oh, is that so? Would you care to explain this book then? How to Impersonate a Lawyer in 10 Easy Steps. Dylan here found it in your briefcase yesterday. Now come on, confess, you are not a lawyer.
So, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. It is up to you. Oh, my back. Oh. After him, Stanley.
Yes, detective!
Wait, no, this way.
Where'd he go?
Get back here, Hudson!
Go get him.
Ah! Where'd he go? Get back here, snake! Ah! Ah!
they say, crime doesn't pay.
Ah, be quiet.
Nice work, Stanley. Let's go.
Detective, it's...
I know. I was just teasing you.
That was funny. Good one.
That was awesome!
That really couldn't have gone better. Well done.
Yeah!
What's going on?
Why was Mr. Henson in handcuffs?
Because Mr. Henson wasn't really Mr. Henson after all.
What?
What?
That's right. His name is Gino Patel. He's an international antiquities thief.
Really? Well, that's crazy.
So, Mr. Henson really wasn't a lawyer after all, but a bad guy?
That's right. If it wasn't for Detective Dylan here, we probably wouldn't have caught him.
Well, way to go, Dylan!
Yeah, good job.
Thanks.
Wow.
You know what? Why don't you take the rest of the day off?
Well, really?
Yes, go have some fun.
Oh, thanks! You're the best, Miss Mabry!
I just can't believe that about Mr. Henson.
Oh, I know. I was shocked when I found out. But anyways, you two finished the last leg, didn't you?
Yes, we
did.
did!
Yeah, and here's what we
Oh,
found.
you can't wait to see it.
A mini treasure chest.
But we can't get it open.
Well, that's because I have the key.
I wonder what's inside.
Maybe the directions to Captain Scurvyleg's gold.
Oh, it's a diamond. And a really big one at that.
I wonder whose it was.
Maybe Cleopatra.
Or the Queen of Sheba. What does the fact sheet say about it?
Well, we don't have a fact sheet for this one. We have something much, much better. A video message from your Uncle Joe.
What?
Hello, Emily, Everett. Believe it or not, I'm your Uncle Joe. And if you're watching this, I guess that means I'm gone, which is a really strange thought. But anyway, I'm just sorry, really sorry that we never met. And it's my fault entirely. You see, I left home when I was 16, before your dad was born and never came back. Something I deeply regret. But I wasn't just running away. I was pursuing a dream, a passion that I had. I wanted to see the world and hunt for buried treasure. So that's what I did. From the top of the world to the bottom of the ocean and everywhere in between. I've searched countless ruins, caves, and shipwrecks, looking for long-lost treasures and artifacts. Then I heard about Captain Scurvyleg's gold. The treasure of all treasures, and knew right away I had to find it. So I packed my things and moved to Mystery Island. Then I searched, and searched, and searched. For years I searched, but found nothing until one day, when I was at my wit's end, I stumbled upon an old stone church tucked away at the north end of the island. Now, I've never been a churchgoer, but that day, for some reason, I had to check it out. Inside was an old man on his knees praying. When he saw me, he asked if he could help. I must have looked desperate. So I told him about Captain Scurvylegs and my lifelong quest for treasure. He listened patiently and then asked if I'd like to hear about the treasure he'd found. A treasure that was far, far greater than the one I was searching for. And of course I was interested. Then he told me about the one true God, the Creator, the King of the universe, a God of righteousness, holiness, and justice, but also a God of mercy, goodness, love, and forgiveness, a God who knows everything, sees everything, and can do miracles, a God with no beginning and no end, a God who never changes, whose ways are higher than ours, and sadly, a God I didn't know. But then he explained to me how I could know God by turning from my sins and trusting in what Jesus did for me on the cross. So I became a child of God that day, and my life changed. Suddenly, I had an intense desire to share this new treasure with my friends and neighbors. I also began working on a plan to reunite with the family, but that was derailed by a bad health report, which is why you're here right now. I have many regrets, many things I would do differently, but I can't change that. All I can do is finish well, and so I want to give you something. Sure, I've got some valuable artifacts, 3 of which you already have, but that's not where the true riches are. Not by a long shot. No, the real treasure is in a relationship with that one true God. And that's what I want you to really have. The Bible says in John 3:16, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have eternal life." Now, what could possibly be more valuable than that? So if you're interested, oh, and I hope you are, I've asked Miss Mabry to explain God's plan of salvation more adequately. She can also answer any questions you might have. And with that, I'll say goodbye. And I hope to see you both on the other side. Goodbye, Emily. Goodbye, Everett.
That makes me so sad.
I know. He was such a sweet guy. He used to come here all the time. He loved this side of the island. So, did you two have any thoughts about what he said?
Yeah. It's a bummer he never found Captain Scurvyleg's gold.
I think she was referring to the part about God.
I know. I'm just disappointed, that's all.
But Uncle Joe wasn't disappointed, was he?
No, not at all. Because he realized that even though he'd spent 20 years looking for it, that he had found something so much better.
A relationship with God.
Yep, that's right. And you can find that too, if you'll trust him. And who better to trust than a God who is amazingly great and perfectly good?
You know, Everett, she's right.
I know. We need what Uncle Joe had.
Really? Uh-huh. That's incredible. I'm going to get my Bible because we have a lot to talk about.
Mystery Island. Come on. Won't you come along with me? Mystery Island. Hoo-ha. Mystery Island.
You guys, this is one of my favorite stories ever, okay? It is epic. It's about an epic battle. It's about this giant named Goliath and a teenage boy named David. Now, David was an Israelite and Goliath was a Philistine. The Israelites were the good guys. They were God's chosen people. The Philistines were their enemies. And they were gonna meet on a battlefield for the most epic story ever. I'm so excited to tell you guys this story. Most of you probably already know it, but for those of you who don't, you guys are in for a real treat. So, to start this story, the Israelites are over here and the Philistines are over here. 2 separate sides of a valley, okay? Philistines bad, Israelites good, okay? Out comes this huge, great champion of the Philistines. His name was Goliath, and he was over 9 feet tall. You guys, I'm 6 foot tall, so if you think about how tall Goliath is, like I'm standing on this chair, and it's still not 9 feet. That's how huge this Goliath was, okay? But not only was he huge, he had a helmet made of bronze on his head and this huge armor all over his body, and it weighed more than 125 pounds. Most of you aren't even close to 125 pounds yet, so I can't even imagine if I put 2 of you on me and tried to carry you around. That's what it would feel like for Goliath. Goliath also had a javelin. You guys know what a javelin is? It's this long spear with this arrowhead on the back, and they threw it and tried to stab people with it. So he had this huge javelin that was about 13 feet long, okay? And over 30 pounds. He would have to be so strong to pick this thing up and to throw it in the air with enough force that it could actually hit somebody and do damage. So crazy. So now, every day for about 40 days, Goliath would come out from his side of the camp and he would taunt the Israelites and say, come on, what's your problem? Get over here. Your God's not that great. Come fight me. Come on. If you think you're so tough, get on over here, right? He wanted somebody to fight him. But the Israelites, they were like, yeah, you're kind of big and you're kind of scary and, you know, you have armor on that weighs as much as I do. And yeah, I don't think so. I don't think I'm going to do that, okay? Here's the deal with this battle, okay? Whoever wins, the losing team has to be their servants. So if the Israelites win, the Philistines have to be their servants. If the Philistines win, the Israelites have to be theirs. So if they kill Goliath, the Philistines have to serve the Israelites forever. But if Goliath killed one of the Israelites, then all of the Israelites would have to be the servants of the Philistines, and that would not be good. Boo. The leader of the Israelite army was King Saul. When he and his army heard Goliath's idea, they were super afraid. Nobody was willing to fight Goliath. They were so afraid of him. Now, there was an Israelite family whose father was named Jesse. Jesse had 8 boys. The oldest 3 were in the Israelite army. The father, Jesse, asked his youngest son, a teenager named David, to take some food to his brothers and the other Israelites. He wanted him to check on his brothers and make sure he was fed. Now, David was a shepherd, so for him to leave his flock, that was kind of a big deal, but he also kind of wanted to see his brothers and see what was going on. So after arriving, he ran to the front lines just as Goliath, the giant, was coming out with his unusual taunt of, oh, you're just a little guy, I'm the big guy, okay? All the men of Israel ran away when they heard Goliath. I mean, this dude is scary, right? David witnessed all of this, and he's sitting there going, what's your deal, guys? He's not that scary. We have God on our side, right? What's your deal? I don't understand what the problem is here. He was upset because he saw that Goliath was mocking the army of the living God. So guess what he did? So the Israelites saw that David was upset, and they took him to see King Saul. David told Saul, I'm gonna go fight Goliath. Send me out there. I'm not afraid of this guy. I've got God on my side. Saul didn't think that that was a very good idea because David was so small and he wouldn't be able to fight him well because David was only a teenager and he didn't have any experience. David told Saul he had taken care of sheep and he fought off wolves to protect these sheep. He fought off lions and bears. He was so much stronger than he looked, even though he was so little. And remember, God was on their side. Goliath would be just like a lion or a bear. God delivered him from the lion and the bear, and God would deliver him from Goliath too. So Saul agreed for David to be the one to fight Goliath. He dressed David in armor and a helmet, and that armor was too big for him. He looked ridiculous, okay? He wasn't used to the armor. He was not having it. He's like, nope, no armor, take it off, get it off. I'm going out there to fight Goliath, no armor, okay? So not only is this kid like a small teenager boy with no experience, but now he took off all of his armor and he's gonna go fight this 9-foot giant that has 125-pound armor on. Crazy, okay? So then it was time for David and Goliath to fight. Goliath came out cursing David and saying he was going to give David's flesh to the birds of the air and the beasts of the field. He was trying to scare David. Do you think it worked? Probably not. David wasn't scared. He was not intimidated. No, not at all. David trusted in God because he knew who God is. God is faithful to his people and God is stronger than any enemy. David knew he was fighting for the Lord and God's honor. God would give him the strength. He told Goliath that even though Goliath came with a huge spear and sword, David came in the name of the Lord, the God of the army of the Israelites. Well, Goliath came toward David. Do you think David ran away? No, okay? He didn't run away. Instead, he ran quickly toward Goliath. He went to the big giant man with the big javelin and the heavy armor and the brother with 6 fingers and 6 toes. David was like, I'm out of here. You can't hold me back. So he runs quickly at Goliath and he grabs some stones and he puts it in his sling. Do you think that this little rock in a sling is going to do any good? You guys, he took that thing and he started swinging it like you do with a slingshot, okay? And he struck Goliath smack dab in the middle of his forehead. Guys, Goliath fell over and he died. So with the Lord's help, David won the battle over the Philistines, and all the Israelites' army was so glad. Then David took Goliath's sword and he cut off his head, just as he said he would. This is such a cool story, you guys, because David is such a small little man, but he had the faith and the might of a greater God. And he believed that God would protect him and God would help them win. God won that entire battle. He just used David to do it. And what a cool story. David showed his trust in God even from the age when he was a teenager, because David knew that God is faithful. He's perfect, he's powerful, he's great, he's good, and he's caring. David had mighty trust in God because he knew God is a big God. Knowing how great and powerful God is leads to having big trust in God and in our Creator. God wants you to have big trust in Him too. And here comes a big thought to remember, okay? When something happens in life, even something that seems really, really bad, and you don't understand why, you need to trust God's character. God's going to bring you through. He knows why it's happening, even though it doesn't make sense to us. That He is bigger and all powerful and all knowing, and He's going to get you through it if you just trust Him. Whether we understand a big question or a big circumstance, God doesn't change who He is, and we have to trust Him. Guys, this is my favorite story. I told you I'm so thankful that we all put our trust in God. And if you haven't done that yet, we would love to talk to you about it. We would love you to talk to your parents about it. If you have questions, you can always contact me or someone else in the church. We love you guys so much, and that is our prayer for you, is that you would put your faith and trust in God.
Proverbs 3, 5 and 6.
Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding.
understanding. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge Him, and He will make straight your path. In all your ways, acknowledge Him, and He will make straight your path.
We have had such an awesome time with you at Mystery Island. I just can't believe it's so sad, you guys, but it's time for our final and last animal pal. Are you guys ready for this? We learned so much about how great and big God is, that we can trust His character at all times and know He's always with us. Our final animal pal is Trusty the macaw, and he reminds us of that. Macaws are part of the parrot family, and they're known for their bright, colorful feathers. So like, look at some of these animals, how these bright colors and stuff are on here. God gave the macaw feathers to keep the macaw dry and warm, kind of like a raincoat. If you've worn a raincoat or if you use an umbrella, it keeps you from getting wet. And that's the way the macaw is. Their feathers keep them from getting wet. Its feathers also provide sun protection because they're out in the sun a lot. It helps with flight and it aids with camouflage. Macaws are large birds. Spread out your arms as wide as they can go. Macaws can grow to over 3 feet tall, and they have a wingspan of up to 4 feet wide. That's as wide as some of your arms from one hand to the other hand. They only weigh 2 to 4 pounds. So if you think about how big it is, they're not super heavy birds because they have hollow bones. There's nothing inside of their bones. If they didn't have hollow bones, they would be too heavy to get off the ground. God really did think of everything when He made the macaw. Have you ever played copycat? Pair up and have one person say something and then you repeat it. Then switch places. Ready, go. Macaws are known for their intelligence. One way they prove their smarts is through their ability to copy human speech. And then they learn tricks. Pretty amazing, huh? They like to play copycat too. Macaws typically have about 50 years to live or so. Although some have lived up to 90 years. So that's like as old as maybe some of your grandpa and grandmas, okay? How great would it have been to have a pet that could be with you your entire life, who was a super trusting friend? For just this once, stick out your tongue like this. The macaw has a powerful beak and a strong tongue that has a bone inside of it. If you feel your tongue, there's no bones inside your tongue, but the macaw's tongue has a bone inside of it. They need a strong beak and tongue because their primary foods are seeds and nuts, and those are harder to break open. The beak helps them break these hard foods down into digestible chunks in their stomachs. Keep your fingers away though. A macaw can easily break a person's finger with one bite. Back in the day, macaws were a favorite pet of pirates. Have you ever seen a picture of a pirate with a macaw on their shoulder? Those macaws would be with them through all of their adventures on the high seas. Pirates had a deep bond with their trusted pets. In the same way, Trusty the macaw reminds us that God can be trusted more than any of our friends can. If you are His, God will never leave you when the going gets tough. He is a faithful friend. Here's our final wow thought for the day. Would you agree that sad or hard things sometimes happen to people in this world? Have you ever wondered why God lets it happen? It's kind of a crazy thought, isn't it? Well, here's one really comforting thing, you guys. Whether you understand why something is happening or not, you can forever have confidence in the character of God. And do you know why? Because He's perfect and He cannot make a mistake. Let me repeat that. God is perfect and He cannot make a mistake. That means His love is perfect. He's perfect goodness. He's perfect kindness, and He's perfect in wisdom. So even though we may not understand why some things happen, God does. All things work together for good if you put your trust in God. He is trustworthy. You guys, thank you so much for joining us at VBS over the last 5 weeks. We've loved seeing you every day. We hope you had an amazing time. Tune back in for some more activities this week. We'll see you later, guys.